Hello, my name is Carson, and I'm going to assume that most of you are in your late teens, 20s, 30s, maybe some of you are in your 40s, maybe some of you are in your 50s. But I want you to imagine that you're at home and you're doing something mundane, putting groceries away or wiping down counters where it's not a lot of effort, and you start to have like a tightness or a pressure in your chest, and you're like, that's kind of weird. And then it starts to radiate up your neck, like maybe to your jaw, maybe down both arms, maybe into your back, in between your shoulder blades, and you're like, that's a little uncomfortable. Like, what is happening? And you start getting a little sweaty and a little clammy, and you're thinking, am I having a panic attack? Because you're definitely not considering that you're having a heart attack because you're too young. And then you're having a shortness of breath, and you're like, this is definitely a panic attack. And then you wake up in the hospital because you collapsed, and they're telling you you did, in fact, have a heart attack. And you're wondering, how can that be? Like, a heart attack? I'm definitely too young for a heart attack. Well, this is happening more and more often every single day. And I want to kind of discuss, like, why are younger people having heart attacks, and like what can we do to prevent it. And so at first I am going to describe like what a heart attack actually is. So this is what your heart looks like. And these big things up here, the red and blue ones, are the blood vessels that supply blood to the rest of your body. But these little ones down here are the ones that supply blood to the heart itself. Specifically, these little red ones are the arteries that give the blood to the muscles of the heart that create it to pump. And so, when there's a little bit of a blockage in these blood vessels, say blood clot or plaque buildup or whatever it may be, a blockage in these vessels, then the blood is not being delivered to the muscle and it starts to die, and you have a heart attack. So, that is what a heart attack is. And why is it happening to more and more younger people? There's some factors that are being considered to be a big role in this, and one of them being type 2 diabetes, which according to the Centers for Disease and Control Prevention, people with type 2 diabetes are more likely to have a heart attack. And the number of teens and young adults between ages 10 and 19 has doubled in the last 2 decades of people that have type 2 diabetes. So, this number is going up, and then the number for the heart attacks are also going up, and if it's a doubling, is that gonna state that we're gonna double the heart attack number too? And so that should be noted that those are correlating factors. And to follow down that same path is the rate of obesity in our country. It's projected by the Nature Reviews Cardiology that if there will be a sixfold in the number of people that are obese in the next 40 years. So, and with obesity comes type 2 diabetes. It also has hypertension, which is another leading factor in heart disease. And so if the obesity rate keeps rising, then all the things that come with it, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, like I just mentioned, those things are going to also come, which is going to cause another increase in younger people having heart attacks. And then something else people are now starting to finally consider is the mental health. The Journal of American Heart Association stated that young people with depression or overall poor mental health report to have more heart attacks, strokes, and risk factors for cardiovascular disease than their peers without mental health issues. And this could be because people that have mental health issues tend to be less active, tend to not have a healthier diet, whatever it may be. But it's finally being acknowledged that our mental health is actually affecting our physical health in an extremely detrimental way. And so, what can we do to prevent these young people having heart attacks? And one of them is just being more vocal about it, making people more aware, making people not think like, I'm not having a heart attack, or not realizing that these lifestyles are actually truly affecting them now, not later in life. Like, they are affecting them now, current day. And we can become more active. We can encourage people to make better choices. Even though there's small choices, little walks here and there, they make bigger changes overall. We can eat healthier. Diabetes and obesity are like directly related to how we're eating. So, those are just little things we can do to now, currently combat this issue. And the reason I wanted to share this information today is because I work in surgery, specifically in open heart surgery. And this is not a theoretical thing for me. I see this, often at work, and our patients are getting younger and younger. And every time we have a patient that's under 50 years old, the team collectively is still in awe of it, because we cannot believe that there's such young patients having these heart attacks. and it's becoming more and more frequent. So, I've been asking myself for a while, like, what is going on? Why does this keep happening? And as a person who is 40 years old, I'm also concerned for myself. I'm concerned for my loved ones. I'm concerned for my friends. So, while this is a scary new trend, I think it is important that we talk about it. I think it's important that people are aware of it. And, like, these the factors that I discussed talking that are causing it, the diabetes, the obesity, and the mental health, are all things that we have the ability to combat, and so once we know what the enemy is, we can fight a stronger battle against it. And so I think it's important that we discuss it and share and are vocal and, just try and do better. So on that note, I hope everyone has a great day.